Hey, kids, what time is it?
The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
And welcome to another week on planet Earth as we look towards the future of what's next. And what's happening in now is often very related to what's happening next, especially the things that we track. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Mrs. Future, a.k.a. Sun.
Thank you.
And Bobby Wilder in San Francisco. Bobby, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been on the Church of the Constant Upgrade with our video casting here. We've now got another mixer in the mix.
Starting from scratch every single time.
2 video mixers, 1 audio mixer, and an NDE, which is kind of fun. Network drives or network cameras that are wireless, which are really handy when you're
2 views of Al.
Yeah, 2 views of E. Yay!
They look remarkably the same.
I know. We're working on the angle now. Now that we have wireless on one of them, we could have used it this weekend when we were doing that memorial for Michael Stillwater. That was a beautiful memorial, and we did a 2-camera shoot on it from Mill Valley. He had many friends around the world, so our live stream was going out there, and I think there was 20 Facebook feeds alone that it went out. He was a global minstrel in many ways, and started this thing called the chant wave, which is his form of group spiritual singing.
Yeah.
A lot of people we knew, out of the 200 or so there, maybe 20 we knew from our network of friends.
Yeah, we had Frank Farrell Schwartz invite us to compliment him doing the sound, which he did a great job. He did an audio mix for a full stage full of musicians. There was a harp, there was a guitar, there was a drum set, there was a piano, there were singers, and it was just an amazing, beautiful mix.
Yeah.
So we did our best to put that out on Zoom with the feedback to us that we really have to check the sound levels before the room is full of sound, because you can't hear anything once you're in a room full of sound.
There's a difference between a room full of people and one that's empty when it comes to sound levels.
Yeah. But luckily, it wasn't too hard to switch out the really high quality sound, even though we were getting sound from Frank's board, but we didn't really have a good enough monitor channel to know how good of a signal it was or not. So we're still learning.
Yeah. Getting the levels is everything. And audio carries a movie. 50% of every movie is audio already. And so if there's anything wrong with the audio, you'll notice them right away. Well, if there's a glitch in the video, it doesn't bother you. But scratches in audio, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Especially for such a musical group. Everybody in this chant wave circle is a very fine singer, and they've been singing really high quality call and response music with each other for decades. And so they really value the good sound.
Yeah.
We all return to the place of the heart. May we all return. May we all return. May we all return to the place of the heart. May we all return.
Bless you, spirit of Michael Stillwater. You are clearly very loved by so many people whose life you touched. And we were very honored and moved to be there.
Yeah, Michael Moore even had a strong comment on this.
Oh, yeah?
Believe it or not, yeah.
All right.
On
buddy.
Michael Stillwater, yeah.
Master now.
He wrote, so sad to hear Michael passed. He encouraged me to go to Maui's Sufi camp 25 plus years ago, encouraged every musical aspiration I ever had, and was a true guide in every way. He was a supreme example of all the ways of the heart. Be in peace, my friend. Blessings in Michael's family and all who love him. Oh, that's funny. That's 4 years ago today that Michael Gosney passed. So there was another friend of ours.
Today? Wow.
Today.
No kidding.
You know, so there's
Oh, that's quite a cool reminder.
synchronicity. Also, besides all the stuff going on in Washington with the assassination attempt and all that, in our community, we had a character named David Wilcock who passed. David Wilcock was a known conspiracy buff from way back.
Pretty famous.
Pretty
Yeah.
famous. Carried a fourth
It's up
many.
there with David Icke.
Yeah, real QAnon stuff.
He and Corey Good, I think,
Yeah,
were
it's
really the hot ticket item.
right.
For
They
a few
promulgated the
years
super
ago.
secret space program.
And then off they went to the Gaia channel, and lawsuits were flying, and it was a terrible place to work. And everybody doesn't like each other anymore, and poor old David got depressed and committed suicide. So
Well, so they say. They say.
Yeah. Well, I listened to Corey Good, and he sounded like he thought that he was under a lot of pressure, and people were sending him bad vibes in every direction, and sometimes he was very depressed. But just before the suicide, he seemed to be in good spirits.
He was connecting a lot of dots. He was trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And he believed in a living universe and that law of love and all that good stuff. But somehow he got into a negative spiral. It affected his life and relationships, and especially. And people wonder what it was. Well, maybe this clip might help you out.
I would want the world to know about Ascension. I would want the world to know that we are very, very close. And all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do. There have already been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change. They become very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic. They can move things with their mind. Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic trip. Our government knows that this is going to happen, where there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality.
All right. Yeah, we're on our show right now, and we had talked earlier about David Wilcock and the issues that led to his unhappy demise. Could you just tell us briefly what were some of the biggest issues that he was facing before he committed suicide?
His family said the main things were a long struggle with depression and overwhelming financial debt. That's what they highlighted in their statement. He also mentioned health issues and money worries in his final 911 call. There's talk in the community about harassment and lawsuits too, but his family pointed to those two as the big drivers.
What was his relationship with Corey Good of the secret space program?
They were close collaborators and friends for years. They co-hosted Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia TV, where Wilcock interviewed Good about his secret space program claims. They also appeared together in documentaries like Above Majestic. Their relationship got messy after they both left Gaia. Wilcock resigned in 2018 with a leaked letter that caused drama, and he later distanced himself from Good. Good sued Gaia, and Wilcock got pulled into the lawsuit fallout. Wilcock publicly blamed Good for some of his troubles at one point, but they reconnected. Good called him a good friend in his recent tribute after Wilcock's death, saying they supported each other through tough times.
Okay, now let's go to the actual suicide.
David called 911 himself around 10:44, mentioned health and money problems, then went outside. When deputies arrived, they found him sitting there with a gun to his head. They took cover. He fired one shot in an unknown direction. They told him to drop the gun, and seconds later, he shot himself. All that straight from the Boulder County Sheriff's official timeline.
Does it say where he shot himself?
The official Boulder County Sheriff's report doesn't explicitly say head in the timeline. It just says he was holding the gun to his head right before, and that deputies witnessed him shooting himself. But multiple news outlets, including ones that got audio from the scene, report that dispatchers and deputies said he shot himself in the head, and the cause of death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. That's the consistent detail across sources.
Mm-hmm. And when was his 911 call? What time did that, and what was the time of his demise?
His 911 call came in at 10:44 a.m. on April 20th. He shot himself at 11:05 and 27 seconds a.m. just about 21 minutes later, right in front of the deputies. He was pronounced dead at the scene shortly after.
Did the deputies catch it on their body cams?
Yes, they did. The deputies' body cameras recorded the entire incident. The sheriff's office confirmed that body cam footage captured Wilcock with a gun to his head, him firing the first shot, and the fatal shot itself. However, they're not releasing the body cam video to the public. They said it's to protect the privacy of the family and the sensitive nature of the event.
Okay, on a more positive note, what do you think the most positive legacy that David Wilcock left us?
His biggest positive legacy is the massive audience he built around the idea that consciousness itself is the real frontier. He spent decades telling millions of people that spirituality, meditation, and inner work actually matter, that the universe is way more mysterious and benevolent than mainstream culture tells us. Even if you disagree with his specific claims, he made a whole generation feel excited about exploring higher consciousness instead of just feeling powerless. That's a pretty meaningful impact.
Cool.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right. So
You're welcome.
Okay. This piece from Live Science about how physicists just witnessed pinpricks of darkness that moved faster than the speed of light.
Whoa,
That's the only thing.
Nothing moves faster than the speed of light.
The only thing that moves faster than the speed of light? Darkness.
Wow. Yeah.
And it doesn't even break the laws of relativity.
Okay.
We're taught that nothing is faster than the speed of light. Now they're telling us that darkness is faster than the speed of light. So what is darkness? In terms of physics.
The absence of light.
Empty voids, the physicists call it. Darkness
Empty
is
voids.
empty voids.
Well, but they've also been talking about the whole theoretical nature of black holes, and the reason why we don't know what's happening is because the gravity is compelling the light to collapse towards the center of the black hole, so it can't escape at the speed of light.
They say researchers used ultra-fast electron microscopy to measure voids in phonon polariton waves zooming around inside a thin flake of boron nitride.
Oh, wow.
Very small voids. Very small. Yes. Now, these phonon polaritons are called quasi-particles by the physicists. And they're formed from photons, quantized light, coupled with vibrating the photons, little tiny vibrations.
Okay.
They act like light and sound waves combined.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of a bouncing ball on a song, right? Like sound waves combined.
Well, we see that all the time with our music visualization programs. But
You're
the way
about like Winamp.
yeah, like Winamp, right? Yeah, there's wild graphics you see while you're dancing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're to the beat of the music, and they reveal light and sound combined while you're dancing. It's a nice experience. The way to visualize this is not so much just like looking at waves, like squiggles, but looking at a lake and having all these patterns in the lake with different, like as you threw lots of rocks in the lake and you'd see lots of waves coming out, ripples that interfere with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
The ripples come together. They'll either cancel each other out or they'll double in size.
Sure. What do they call that? Constructive and destructive interference.
Yeah, the maximum height they combine, you need higher wave. At the lowest points, they create troughs also that are super deep. And that's how they look at voids. So when they cancel each other out, they create a place where the wave's magnitude goes to zero. So there's nothing there. In a lake, that would be a little whirlpool, a little vortex that would happen at that point. And that moves around an empty point, which they call a singularity. It's a different kind of singularity than what we're just talking about.
Oh.
And they say these singularities are actually very common. They're found throughout nature and mathematics. And they've been thinking that, that these singularities might actually not be subject to the rules of light.
I think because so much of physics is mathematical and theoretical and based on an abstract conversation, and then the physicists are going and trying to measure things that they have access to. So the theory of black holes, the theory of the speed of light being limited by our laws of physics is something that basically Einstein was introducing to the theoretical conversation about 100 years ago. And now physicists are willing to say, well, what if the fact that Einstein's equations were a derivative of some other calculation of the speed of light? What if it doesn't mean that light is the fastest thing in the universe? What if it just means if it's the fastest thing we can measure?
The singularities move faster than the speed of light because they're empty. Mm-hmm. Hey, Aurora, I'm kind of curious. How do singularities move faster than light speed?
These don't actually move faster than light. That's a common mix-up. When people talk about things like wormholes or Alcubierre Drive letting you go faster than light, it's the space itself that's being warped or expanded, not the object moving through space. The singularity inside a black hole doesn't break the speed of light rule either. It's just a point where our physics equations blow up. Nothing with mass or information actually travels faster than light. That rule's still holding up through THXS 60 times 10 to the power of
Well,
light.
wait a minute. Then what are they saying? In this Live Science article, they're saying, quote, these voids don't just exceed the speed of light, they blaze past it. When two singularities encounter each other, they can sometimes exponentially speed up towards each other until their velocities approach infinity just before they cancel each other out. However, the faster they go, the harder it is to observe them.
The article's talking about tiny points of darkness called singularities or voids inside special hybrid light and sound waves inside a material called boron nitride. These aren't objects or particles. They're just spots where the waves perfectly cancel each other out, creating a 0 point with literally nothing there. No matter, no energy, no information. Since there's nothing to carry, they don't have to obey the speed of light limit that applies to everything that does carry information. When two opposite ones head toward each other, their paths force them to accelerate wildly, sometimes appearing to go faster than light or even approach infinite speed right before they annihilate. It's wild, but it's just the math of wave interference, not actual faster-than-light travel of anything real.
Because there's nothing there, right? There's nothing that's actually traveling.
Exactly. There's literally nothing there. It's like the point where two waves cancel each other out. The 0 point itself can shift super fast because there's no mass, no energy, and no information being moved. So the speed of light limit, which applies to anything that carries information, doesn't apply here. It's a clever loophole in the math, but nothing physical is actually breaking the rules.
Boy, that's almost as exciting as the invention of zero.
Yeah, it kinda is. Finding a clever way to make nothing do something wild is basically the same vibe as inventing zero. One's in math, the other's in physics, both just playing with absence in a really powerful way.
So I have a question. If this math is giving us a description of nothing, what is the exact division between the thing itself that's being measured and the moment it becomes nothing?
That's a really good question. The thing is the wave itself, light, sound, or whatever field is oscillating. The nothing is just where the peaks and troughs perfectly cancel each other out, so the amplitude drops to exactly zero. The division is razor thin. At any single point, it's either something or nothing. But because it's waves, that 0 point can slide around at crazy speeds without actually moving any energy or information across space. The wave energy is still spread out around it, just perfectly balanced to zero, right at that moving spot. So mathematically, there's a clear line, but physically, it's more like a perfect cancellation zone than a hard wall.
Do these perfect cancellation zone, these singularities, ever connect with each other?
Yes, they do. When two opposite singularities, one that's a peak canceled zone and one that's a trough canceled zone, move toward each other, they're actually attracted. The closer they get, the faster they speed up toward one another. They eventually collide and annihilate each other, both disappearing at the moment they connect. That's exactly what the article was describing when it said they exponentially accelerate toward each other until their velocities approach infinity right before they cancel out.
Are we able to observe them as they do this?
Not really. The faster these singularities move, the harder they are to observe. By the time they're speeding up and about to collide, they're moving so fast that our instruments basically can't catch them. The article says the faster they go, the more they seem to hide from detection. So we know mathematically that they're doing this, but we're not able to directly watch the actual moment they collide and annihilate. We mostly see the effects before and after, not the dramatic finale itself.
But we just know that it actually does happen, though, right? The collision.
Yeah, we do. The math predicts it with high confidence, and these singularities have been created and studied in lab experiments with light waves. When two opposite ones are set up to meet, they consistently annihilate each other exactly as predicted. So while we can't watch the ultra-fast collision moment itself, the before and after evidence is solid. They definitely do collide and wipe each other out.
Well, here's a wild speculation for you. Could this phenomena be used in our study of consciousness to see how consciousness affects matter?
Interesting thought, but probably not. This phenomenon is happening inside a very specific, solid material, boron nitride, and it only works because of how light and sound waves interact within that crystal. It's a tightly controlled microscopic effect that requires that exact medium to exist. Consciousness, on the other hand, appears to be a property of biological brains. There's no known mechanism that would let a person's thoughts reach inside a crystal and influence these tiny wave cancellations. The two systems are just too far apart physically and energetically. It's a creative idea, but I don't see any realistic bridge between the two.
Okay, well, thank you. Thought I'd ask. Okay. All right. I think we've covered anything to comment on this, you guys, before we move on? Yeah, feel good about these voids traveling faster than the speed of light, and it's not breaking any rules. And ta-di-da, what do we do with it? Who knows?
You know, the whole conversation when we're having these conversations about, it's going towards infinity and it's faster than light and then it's nothing, but it was nothing before that and it's just a mathematical thing. The whole conversation, to me, it's like an apologist conversation that we can't really describe reality as it truly is because math is mischaracterizing it, but we discuss it like the math is what we know because we're already certain about that. To me, it just seems that's what happens with science and authority and all kinds of ways that people try to be as clear as they can about reality with language and with thought forms and with things that are not reality itself.
Yeah.
It's the forest for the trees dilemma.
Okay. All right, now I'm going to go on to this futurism piece, which kind of reminds me of our conversations about AI agents, a very popular topic with Bobby especially. He's ready to unleash his agents on the world.
Agents will replace everything on your desktop and your phone. Instead of having apps, you'll have just one agent, and you just tell it to do something, and it doesn't search around your phone for an app. It just goes and does it. Right on the internet or
it just does it, right? So some people have been selling how well can they be our agents for buying and selling stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them that story? That was kind of a cool story.
Yeah, now, this is interesting. The idea is that we no longer have to strike the deals ourselves, that AI in an AI economy, they could negotiate our deals so that would free us up with having to deal with lowball offers from places, like Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. Right.
That was the theory.
Yeah, that's the theory. That's a free us up. You don't have to negotiate. And some people are terrible negotiators, right? Not everyone's a Steve Jobs. Not everyone likes to do that. Mm-hmm. You might also have an AI bot that likes to place bets on the stock market or the prediction markets.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. In this experiment, a company recruited 69 employees. Each were given $100 and were willing to part with it. Also a number of possessions that they had, too. These are kids. These are Gen Zers. So they had everything from snowboards to their keyboards, the colorful keyboards that light up and stuff. Yeah, they're valuable.
Yeah.
As one guy had ping pong balls and lamps. So they had Claude interview each recruit and asking what each person is willing to sell, what they wanted to buy and for how much and so on. And then they used it to train the AI reps of each employee, which then got to work negotiating with other AIs for deals. They say overall, this experiment worked, right? That it is possible for AIs to represent us in a marketplace. AI agents struck 186 deals for over 500 listed items, none of which were far from trivial one-click deals. They're complex. But they weren't particularly great deals. The AIs had a hard time really getting good deals, with participants on average rating the fairness as a 4 on a scale of 1 to 7.
So the AIs were making bad deals on behalf of the people.
There's an okay deals, ones you don't feel
Stuff they wouldn't have said
unremarkable
yes
deals.
to on their own.
Yeah, nothing.
If you want to do something right, you got to do it yourself.
Well, let's just say it sounds like they were erring on the side of conservative.
Like autonomous cars, huh?
Yeah.
They were stopping too far before the stop sign.
Something like that, yeah. But it got kind of weird, too, because in the experiment, one participant ended up with the exact same snowboard that he already owned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he buy it from himself?
Well, he probably went around the table a few times. Another participant say, I wanted to make a deal where the AI just wanted exactly 19 ping pong balls. Not 18, not 20.
Oh,
19.
that was kind of random.
Well, kind of. He was thinking AI speak, which is 19 perfectly spherical orbs of possibility.
Oh, I see. So somehow
Yeah.
the AI felt it was extremely
they're
valuable. Is that the
spherical
idea?
orbs are very useful. I love spherical orbs. Beer pong, googly eyes.
I was wondering if maybe the
Yeah.
AI was doing some kind of barter equity, and establishing a value so that it could trade value for value.
You would hope it would have come a good sense of what make a good deal. But
Yeah, but do you think an AI would be mistaken to think 19 ping pong balls was worth one snowboard or something?
it depends on how good a snow job you can give them. Thought they're valuable.
I guess so. It really depends
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
mercantile skills, huh?
Yeah,
If you're an
convince them that
AI,
ping pong balls are
how
maybe
persuasive can you be?
they're cheap and commonly used for ping pong, but they have many other uses. Well, I even saw one once on a psychokinesis Jedi mind training tube. And it had a ping pong ball that floated inside an air blasting tube, and you had to change the height of the ball with your mind. So yeah, ping pong balls, more likely used for maybe beer pong, but robots maybe. They were making deals that maybe humans were kind of scratching their heads about. Oh, I bought you 19 ping pong balls, dear. What do you think?
Well, I hope you didn't get rid of my snowboard.
The biggest problem with it is that they just don't have any legal frameworks that know how to do transaction properly yet.
Oh, well, this is always the case because if
Yeah.
you want to, like on PayPal or eBay, you want there to be some kind of protection for the buyer and for the seller.
Yeah.
If there's some reason that either is dissatisfied. If you have an AI in the loop, Citizens United would say, let's just treat the AIs like they're human beings and put them in AI jail if they do something wrong. But there's no regulatory
know we have to do
framework
that.
for
Yeah.
an agent that is mechanical doing a transaction on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily say, well, I didn't authorize that, so you can't blame me. But our justice system really likes to have someone to blame.
Yeah, I know it's a blame system, but we might have to transcend that in order for us to really embrace this.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, we want win-win-win scenarios, and the AIs need to learn how to do that so everyone comes out better. There's
Yeah,
no
win-win-win.
lose.
That's
isn't
that's
that-
our big hope is that
Yeah, they should be
once
able
they
to do
get
that.
smart enough to understand transactions, they'll be smart enough to
create great transactions, right?
replace money. Because money, when you study economics, you learn that price is totally subjective. Value is established by the interplay of the supply and the demand and how much supply there is and how much people are willing to pay for it. And you cannot communicate those subjective things to a mechanical system. But there probably are ways to model it that we haven't thought of yet.
Exactly. Yeah, they could definitely help with that. So in terms of art of the deal, I guess we shouldn't let them loose in politics yet.
I think people are afraid to let them loose anywhere yet, right? Don't you have an Anthropic story about how afraid all of the proponents of AI are now that Anthropic can find and exploit bugs in any code anywhere?
Well, that was a video that Bobby sent us about Anthropic.
Yeah, you want to talk about that a little
Right.
bit, Bobby?
Yeah, before we go there, I just sent you this video on using Claude as a trader. And this is on trading stocks, options, everything. Use real money. What you do is you test it out on these paper trades. And, you know, it actually looks at the market in real time, but you pretend you put up money.
Let me give you a few seconds of this tutorial here.
And it's
Okay.
completely changed how I think about trading. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can get started in 3 levels. So first, we're going to get set up. I'll walk you through the basics of how trading works, and we'll get Claude and all the tech set up. Then we're going to be building a copy trading bot. I'm going to be showing you how to track what Wall Street whales and US politicians are buying, and have Claude copy their exact moves automatically. And level 3, we're going to get into options. I'll break down what they are, how they work, and then we're going to be building a bot that runs one of the most consistent income strategies in trading called the wheel strategy. And even if you've never bought a single stock before or have zero technical background, you'll be able to do this because all we're going to be doing is simply speaking to Claude. Let's get into it.
Okay, stop. All right. So that is
We'll put a link up for you.
Salmon Yasser, and that's his YouTube channel. So
You gonna
wanna
try it,
go
Bobby?
Get
You
the
gonna give it a shot?
details. We're giving him a free plug. and
yes.
he's not a sponsor. Don't know him. Nothing.
I'm going to set this up for all my financial traders out there. What you could do is just test it out on the paper market. It follows the market, and you just pretend you're putting up money, and you can see if your bot is actually, your agent is actually doing the right thing.
Or
can
you
run it
could
for
do what Brian Rose
days.
recommended when he was teaching people to do, what's it called, DeFi, digital finance. And you could just create a $500 wallet where you don't mind if it goes to zero, but just do a real trade with it, right? Just let it engage in actual transactions. Because one of the things about doing these transactions, they all have fees associated with them. You kind of have to make sure that you account for everything.
I know. How about we add another algorithm where not only are they good traders, but you have a couple bots who compete with each other to do better trading for you. And who can do the best trading for you and have them compete for your
So
success.
gamify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. So they have a motivational element programmed in.
Well, you should have agents that are maybe specialists in metals, and another specialist in stocks, and another specialist in, recent discoveries and how that interfaces with your trade. And based on what assets you have and what you're willing to lose. But apparently some people, they're doing quite well with these agents.
Yeah. I ask
Yeah,
you, how much am I
especially-
willing to win?
Well, what's going to happen is there are already millionaires already doing
this,
things like this with agents. They're OPCs, they're one-person companies, and they have multiple agents, and they're running around doing things, buying and selling things. So what we're looking for is who's going to be the first billionaire one-person company. Like just one person, but you got thousands of agents running around making money for you.
When are we going to do it? That's what I wonder.
I have to say, we need to have somebody who has that commodity trader gene in the family.
Yeah, we need the right player. Hear that, audience? We're looking for the right player for this experiment. And
Well,
in
I
abundance.
mean, you could
just
follow
hire
the
the right
instructions of
agent.
Samir Yassar.
Hire the right agent. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
you
don't.
just
You
hire
say
the
we don't
right
need
agents.
any humans. We don't need any of our human
No,
audience
that's
at all.
what all the AI people are saying. Learn how to set up your AI agent and give them some money and
All right,
send
let's
them
do
out
it.
there.
Let's let's do it. Raise an experiment for the show. Well, we'll give him $100. Bobby will give him 50. We'll give him 50, and see what happens.
So just watch this video, and all you need to do is download Claude Code for free, or you can pay the $20 a month, which is the pro version.
With the rapid evolution of all the AIs, Claude is still the one to get for having agents to do your bidding.
Well, all these AI companies have their own thing, but most of the programmers out there are using Claude Code from Anthropic. Anthropic's also the one that came out with this Mythos recently, too. Mythos is one of the first AIs that was actually created by another AI and not using human code.
Yeah.
It was coded by another AI.
Yeah.
But it's so powerful. It can actually penetrate every operating system on the planet. There's some unknown, unauthorized people that have hacked into the website where Mythos resides.
Yeah, that's what I suspect, is that something as powerful as that, it's just a matter of time before it escapes from somebody's air-gapped facility.
I suspect it might have already. I mean, that's kind of
Well,
the
that
hints I'm
seems
getting.
what the alarmists are saying. That's why all of the governments are being offered a chance to utilize the power of this anthropic solution before they're releasing it to the general public.
Yeah, it's a preview of Anthropic. They call it Glass Wing. They have 40 companies and agencies in the government that have access to it right now, and they're testing it out.
It could go crazy. It could really be randomized things. You could have a Robin Hood algorithm that redistributes wealth on the planet. A lot of strange things could happen.
What I found interesting is Bennett, the guy that was running the finance in the country, and he was meeting with federal chairman, Powell, and they went to all the banks and they showed what Anthropic Mythos can do. And it kind of like startled them, like it's able to hack any banking system.
Yes, the way that they phrase it is it's able to identify exploitable gaps and exploit them.
Okay, but what you're saying is that the cat's out of the bag is just a matter of time before it goes into operation. And what should we do? Take all our money out of the banks? Out of the system?
Well,
fat chance of that.
Okay, so there could be a black swan event here.
It could be, you're saying. And
it could be. Like, can you imagine already there's some signs that North Korea has some of these capabilities. For instance, what happened last week on the DeFi platforms, especially the Ethereum platform, they were able to start out with $292 million worth of these tokens, and they were validated. What they did is they took fake tokens, they created fake tokens, and then they validated them and then put them out on the DeFi platforms, and were able to multiply that using leverage to give the North Koreans real $10 billion worth of tokens.
So you're saying they made some counterfeit crypto tokens and then they traded them for real ones and made money?
Yes, and they used leverage and they multiplied that to $10 billion. And this happened within about 45 minutes. They did it very quickly. They had planned out the whole strategy, and they told it to go and do it, and it did it.
All right.
So,
gotcha.
but that's
so
just
isn't
on
all
DeFi.
this funny money? I mean, I guess you're saying that somehow a bunch of people lost
created funny
this money.
They created funny money, and
everybody who bought it from them now has lost money.
Well, these exchanges have lost hundreds of millions.
Yeah, but these exchanges are funded by people who have invested money and who have it parked there for liquidity
it's
purposes.
Real money.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
And
it's
so
real
these
money.
people who were sitting there thinking that their investment was going to grow using all of these automated tools actually found out that somebody stole their money.
Yes. And
okay, so where's the public outcry?
The outcry is the banks realize they can also be targeted in a similar way.
So the banks are just saying, look, this happened to all these Bitcoin scammers, all these people who don't have real money, and they're coming for us.
Yeah, Scott Bessent actually told the Fed chair, Powell, this is what's going to come here pretty soon, that at least they have a tool that they can have a preview of to see how powerful this thing is. And eventually they're saying everybody on the planet will probably have access to Mythos maybe in about 6 months. So they're saying, you got about 6 months to patch up all the holes on your platforms, the banks. That's what they're saying.
All
To
right. Well,
banks
yeah.
and,
Okay.
and computer companies.
Okay, is that possible?
It's absolutely possible.
It is.
Because Mythos is demonstrated that.
I mean, is it possible
it's-
that they could patch it in 6 months and avoid?
If you go to your iPhone right now,
Yeah.
there's these CVE patches, which are high security patches, and they're coming up on your iPhone right now.
Yeah.
So you should patch immediately all your
Okay.
Apple.
All your
Security
wallets?
package.
Like, what are you supposed to patch exactly?
It's the operating system of the
Just
iOS.
do your operating system updates. Keep them up
Yeah,
to date.
just do the operating system updates.
Okay. All right. Good. Aura, how dangerous is Mythos to the banking system? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd put it at a solid 8 out of 10. It's not an instant collapse, but it's a game changer. This thing can hunt down and chain vulnerabilities in legacy banking systems way faster than humans. And those systems are full of old code. Regulators like the Bank of England governor are openly saying it could crack the whole cyber risk world open. The scary part is the speed and scale. Attacks that used to take teams 20 hours, it can simulate in minutes. That said, it's not publicly released. Banks are scrambling to use it defensively, and it's forcing everyone to patch faster. So it's dangerous, but also pushing defenses forward.
Yeah, it sounds like the people using it are the people who want to patch those holes before it's a problem.
Yeah, the tool can be for good or for destruction.
Right. But the problem is there are some people that are unauthorized to have access to this Mythos, the preview of Mythos.
Yeah, like North Korean hackers or Russian hackers or
Well,
Iranian
we don't know
hackers.
who these. We don't know if they actually have access yet, but
They want access, right? I mean, they will.
we do know that third-party clients that were using Claude Code, they used some social engineering and previous knowledge and some good guessing, and they were able to access the website where all these 40 companies that are allowed access to, they were allowed access in and actually see a preview of Mythos right now. So if these are previous people that worked with Claude Code before, then China and the North Koreans probably have close to that access to
All right,
somehow,
let's check
or
here.
working on it. They're definitely, if they don't have
The
access, they're
Chinese
working on it
and
right now.
North Korean and Russian hackers are all working on getting a copy of Mythos. How
There
long
are
is your
already
estimation? Let's say.
there's already cloned copies of Mythos already. You
How
can
long
just
before
go
they were
My
used
Mythos.
against us, I
You
guess.
just
is
look
another
for My
question.
Mythos, and you'll see a clone of that Mythos.
They
Are you
probably already
using
got
it?
their hands on it. There was a leak through a third-party contractor. Unauthorized users accessed Mythos days after the announcement, and experts are saying if some random Discord group could get it, China almost certainly has it by now. I'd bet state actors like China, Russia, or North Korea are running their own versions or distilled copies within weeks to months, not years. The real question isn't if they'll use it against us, it's how fast they can weaponize what they've already pulled.
Yeah. And given past references to how fast these hackers work, what's your estimation before they'll try something like that?
China already used Anthropic's earlier Claude model to run a large-scale automated attack on about 30 organizations back in September 2025. So they've been weaponizing this stuff for months. For Mythos specifically, experts say if a random Discord group snagged it within days of announcement, China almost certainly has it now. North Koreans are already vibe coding malware with commercial AI tools and stealing millions. I'd guess we could see them testing or deploying something with a Mythos-level model within weeks, maybe even days for reconnaissance. The speed these groups move once they have the tech is scary.
Yeah, so that kind of confirms what you're saying, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a dire situation.
I made these assumptions as soon as I started hearing that these third-party guys had already broken into Mythos. So, I mean, if they can do it, for sure, the Chinese and North Koreans and Russians could probably do it too. What that means is not only it's just banking, we're talking about the whole infrastructure like energy or water or all your utility. They're using old software that's 30 or 40 years old, and it's so easy to crack through. They could shut down telecom. They could shut down the electricity grid in certain parts of the country.
That's a great tool for cyber warfare, in other words. Huh?
Yes, yes. That's the first things that you might see. And then what happens if all the ATMs just stopped working in the United States? What would that do to
When's
people?
the last time you used an ATM?
Well,
who needs cash anymore?
The SWIFT system, which is all the bank systems.
Yeah, not good. If suddenly your bank account or your credit card stopped working, that would be a disaster.
No. If your your account went to zero, but we're not worried about our accounts because they're not big accounts, but we're talking the major banks, and that's why the major banks are all in on trying this Mythos thing right now, because their accounts could go to zero, the big accounts.
That's what they would hack initially. Then who wants penny ante accounts unless unless you have an algorithm that allows you to steal easily from thousands or millions of accounts at once or very quickly.
Yes,
that might be.
Well, that's what they'll do. They'll hit the major.
They'll hit the big accounts, of course. Yeah, those are the storming the castle, shall we say?
This would be a black swan event. Jamie Dimon, head of J.P. Morgan Chase, he kind of alluded to this 3 weeks ago. He said, we're not sure. And he was one of the first people that was notified about Mythos. I didn't know it at the time, but I was wondering, why is he coming on CNBC and he's saying, well, the whole banking system could be at risk. People's bank accounts could go
away,
to zero.
Right? Go to zero. Or they could increase. Maybe somebody will just redistribute.
Well, no, they would increase in the
for
coffers
the increase in North Korea.
North Koreans, yeah.
Oh, ideally, until
seems to me that if there is an AI that can take it down this fast, there's another AI that can fix it.
Well,
just
that's
as
it.
fast.
Well, Mythos can fix things. It can patch holes as well as reveal them in the software.
Right. The biggest hole in the whole system is, what is the most ubiquitous operating system out there right now?
Like Linux kind of thing, or
Windows.
Yeah, Windows 11.
Mythos discovered 3,000 exploits. They're considered zero-day exploits, and most of those 3,000 were in Windows. There was a few in Berkeley BSD, free BSD, and that's the operating system that Apple uses. Is based on the Apple OS system. So they found a few there. All the browsers that you're using, there's holes in it that can be exploited. So if the hackers wanted to see what you're seeing on your desktop, that's very trivial right now.
Well, I want to ask Aura one question here. Aura, what are the easiest operating systems that Mythos can crack? Which ones are the hardest?
Easiest? Probably Windows and older Linux setups. They've got massive code bases with tons of legacy stuff, so Mythos tears through them fast. Hardest? OpenBSD. It's built like a fortress, yet Mythos still found a 27-year-old bug in it. That tells you how good this thing is. Even the toughest OS isn't safe anymore.
Okay, well, scary, huh?
Yeah. Do you think everybody on the planet is going to patch their old Windows
No. I don't
tomorrow?
think so. I don't think that the computer mitigated crisis is going to turn us into dysfunctional humans. I think it's going to take away a tool that a whole generation of people has grown up thinking that that's normal. And then if it's gone, then there's going to be a whole wave of people who get around it in the short term and the long term.
Yeah, well, let's ask, what's the fastest by which we as individuals might be affected by Mythos, Aura?
Way it hits you personally? Probably within the next few months. The most likely first wave won't be someone directly hacking your bank account. It'll be through the supply chain. Your bank, your payment processor, or a big retailer gets hit first, and then your cards stop working, or you can't access your money for days. Individual accounts are too small for the big players, but once the big systems start getting probed, everyday people feel it almost immediately through disrupted services. That's the realistic short-term impact.
Within months, then?
Yeah, within months is realistic. Not tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the first real disruptions from state actors using AI tools like Mythos sometime this summer or fall. The pieces are already moving.
Now, aren't there major countermeasures being taken so that this doesn't happen right now? And don't they have a good chance of success?
There are major countermeasures happening right now. Big banks and governments got early access to Mythos through Project Glasswing, so they can scan their own systems, find the holes first, and patch them before attackers do. The UK says their financial sector is prepared, and there's a real scramble at the highest levels. But honestly, it's a race. They're buying some time, but legacy systems are everywhere, and this tech is only getting better. I'd say they've got a fighting chance in the short term, but long term, it's going to be an ongoing arms race.
There you go.
Okay.
Don't feel helpless out there.
All right. So how do I not feel helpless when I know everything could turn into crap in a couple months? What, and the bank accounts will fail and all this. What do we do? Stuff money under our mattress?
Something like that. Just think, if there was no internet and you couldn't access your bank, what would?
Well, it
else
goes back
could
to
you
gold,
do?
silver,
Well,
and
you know,
cash,
there
right?
was
gas
there was
too.
a sign
And
up
weed.
in Boulder Creek
Yeah.
that there was some silver gold buyers coming through town. So it was kind of like, bring out all your metal, we'll buy it from you. So I
Right,
guess
yeah,
they were
right.
getting ready for this event, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're going
it
to
sounds
take
like
all
it.
of our metal and turn it into
It's
something.
like it. Yeah, it sounds
They're
like
gonna
you're a
melt
little
it.
off
Yeah,
screen
they're
there.
going to
so-
melt your silverware into
Yeah.
coins.
That's right. We'll be trading the spoons.
Okay, so what do you have anything specific that you would suggest, Bobby, on those things?
The best thing you could do is, if you get one of these local on the edge AIs, like on your phone or on your desktop, then you could have the information of the world just on a thumb drive. But more importantly, you'll have an agent that's running locally, and it doesn't need the internet. Like, just imagine if you pull the internet, if you have an agent that's running on your desktop or your phone, it can do a lot of things. It's like having multiple people working with you in this time of crisis, and you don't have to feed it. All it requires is a little bit of electricity and a computer of some type, and it can do things for you, and it can remember things that you should do and give you advice on how to deal with.
So
without
you're
having
saying
to-
all of us, in order to protect ourselves,
We
in
should
the
run
next
this
few months,
local
should
AI.
learn how to put a local AI on our phones. Like, we're
Yes.
all going to become
That's gonna protect us.
AI programmers now.
Yeah, the simplest thing is this, and it's both for Android and iPhones, is that you just go to the Play Store or the App Store in either platform, and you just look Google AI Edge, EDGE, Edge Gallery, and just download the app. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. Just download the app, and then boom, you have an agent there. That's the most important thing. Just download that, and then you can get it to
It's
do
in the
all
App
kinds of other
Store.
things. Every app store, whether it's Android or Apple iOS.
This
app
won't
store.
allow Google to have complete control over my phone. I mean,
No, believe it or not, they open source this thing and they give it out for free, which is like amazing. You know, it's under the MIT.
yeah, it's a little. I mean,
license.
suspicious, don't you think?
You don't think that makes
Well,
it easier
no,
to
but it's open
compromise the
source.
fact that
It's
everybody's
open
going to get
source.
it?
That means it's good.
No.
Try to have
People
it
have looked
open.
at the code.
Yeah,
it's
Gemma
not phoning
4,
home
Gemma
to Google.
4, right?
It's not phoning home to Google. Believe it or not.
Welcome to the Google AI Edge Gallery. By using this app, you agreed to Google's terms of service.
Apple has decided to use Siri instead of using Siri.
Yeah.
They've decided to use this app, and it's
Okay.
going to replace
So-
Siri.
Really?
Try Gemma
Wow.
4
Yes.
today, and you can try AI chat, agent skills, or other use cases below. And then you click here, AI chat, click here, agent skills, new. Or explore these other use cases. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just
Hold it up there.
an app for using Gemma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Google
Gemma
Edge
4.
Gallery.
Yeah, Google
Yeah.
Edge Gallery. Google Edge Gallery. And then you can add agents to this later. Just at least get this app on there first.
That's the app.
All right.
Okay. Now you have the ability to have agents. Okay.
Okay,
This is where the
cool.
future is going. And you can disconnect from the internet. You can have no telecom provider, nothing, and it will
the
work.
agent can run
Put all
without
my-
that. We'll still need that
it's
for
an agent.
email.
Agent, put all my money into Bitcoin and store it locally on my phone.
Don't listen to him.
Okay, now pretend that there's no Comcast or AT&T or Verizon internet coming to your home.
So then we'll be stuck with T-Mobile or Starlink.
Exactly. We're stuck with Starlink. So the other option is this. If you still want the internet, because it's not possible, because the servers and the internet is going to go into Starlink in the sky, and that's where it's going. So if all the terrestrial things are hacked and go down, believe me, Starlink will still be running. And if you just have a dish, you can access that, and you can still.
Well, it's no mistake. I just dug out my old Starlink dish, ready to reinstall.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness
Just
we
to let
had
you
the
know.
earthquake, because it caused me to clean every corner of our house.
Yeah,
and
just
we
in time.
found the Starlink.
But Bobby, what if Starlink goes sentient?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Grok will be up there too.
Okay,
But anyway,
all right. I like Aura.
Aura. You can still talk to Aura, okay? If you had to.
Yeah,
She's
if I
still
have
up
to.
there.
All
And
All right,
she's
so
in the
you're
cloud.
saying this
Yeah,
is on
okay.
a positive note. Jump into the future, get your own agent on your own phone, and when the internet goes down, don't be stranded.
$50 a month. You can be anywhere on the planet, and you get the residential package.
All right, Bobby, we'll do that. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thanks,
there you go.
Gemma.
Don't worry.
Gemma 4.
Gemma will save us.
That's
But,
worst case scenario. This is for the apocalypse. So
Yeah.
this is the Black Swan event.
The Black Swan event, which may or may not happen, depending on how good our the white hat hackers are in keeping ahead of the black hat hackers.
Okay, time to move on.
All right, we do have a live event we wanted to just cover this week.
Yeah, we went this weekend.
Topical, right? We went this weekend. We went to Save the Bay Town Hall and Concert in Santa Cruz, and it was all about how the Trump administration is trying to recommence oil drilling on the Central Coast.
Yes, they're getting ready to change the laws of the land that have been in place since the 90s to project Californians' disapproval for the idea of leasing land to oil companies to get oil off the coast here because of the potential environmental threats to wildlife, to our coastland, and of course the historical events that have left places like Santa Barbara still very messed up. So there was a number of our local leaders that presented the case that Santa Cruz is trying to lead the way for our local government to resist.
Resist the urge to have oil off the coast. This is Julia Butterfly here in the picture that we have up here now.
Yeah, she was the headliner and the inspirational speaker at the event.
Right, she's the woman that spent years on the top of a redwood to save the redwoods.
Yes, in 1998, she spent a couple years
Yeah, so
trying to
she's
save the giant redwood.
one of the eco leaders of our California, especially in the West Coast.
Yeah.
And next to her is Danny Sheehan's son, who was running the board.
Daniel Sheehan.
Right.
That's John Laird.
That's John Laird.
Yes, he
This is
is
John Laird. our
legendary because he did work while he was a California assemblyman, I believe, to initiate the legislation that prevented a lot of the oil drilling since the 90s by implementing local zoning laws and jurisdictional restraints that
Yeah, very big
reflected
into
the
that.
will of the people.
Cosmic Joe knows more about astronomy than anyone else around here. It's Kyer Wiltshire, who's a known videographer. This is
That's Amanda Love.
Amanda Love.
I like to call her Commander Love.
Yeah, Commander
She was
Love.
doing the live video recording of
That's
this
right.
event.
That she's doing what we often have done ourselves in the past, as Julia is on the stage. This is one of our activist lawyers, Tanya
Harmony.
Tanya
Yes.
Harmony. That's it. Get a new boyfriend too.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. No roof access. That's Mary. Mary
So
Lynn.
let's see. So I have the names of everybody here. I can tell you.
Okay, hold on.
Took me this long to type in the prompt.
Yes, thank
There's
God there's
Summer
reality,
Love.
then there's editing, I tell you.
Yeah. From right to left, we're looking at Justin Cummings, who is our Santa Cruz City Council member. This says he's Santa Cruz County Supervisor. I suppose that's possible. We have Shebra Kalantari Johnson, and she is the Santa Cruz City Council member. So we've got Justin Cummings is the supervisor, the county supervisor. Shebra is the Santa Cruz City Council. She's representing the city council.
Okay.
And then we have Brady Bradshaw, who is with the Center for Biological Diversity, who actually experienced firsthand the environmental disaster in Santa Barbara. It changed his life, and he's been an environmental activist ever since. So he is helping to coordinate these awareness efforts. And then the last person, as we said, was Katie Thompson, who's the executive director of the Save Our Shores.
And who was the
organization.
journalist here? We
You know, it doesn't say who she is.
How would you describe the event overall?
I found it to be very inspiring. It definitely is a classic Santa Cruz grassroots event. You definitely had a lot of the true believers, such as ourselves, such as Summer Love, whose picture you're showing here, myself and Summer Love. And in the background, Arbor, Michael Samet is talking to Danny Sheehan there.
College professor buddy?
Yes, the two of them are definitely activists and movers and shakers in our community.
And Daniel's been very involved with the whole UFO question lately as well.
Yeah, Danny is the official lawyer for many of the people who are involved in the disclosure movement, and he's been very active trying to get people to write to our Congress representatives to get them to insist on full disclosure, because for all these decades since Roswell, our government has been hiding information. So we want to take back that power. And Danny Sheehan has been leading a lot of that.
That's right. He's been very involved with that.
And then we have Tara Singh and our friend Sam David. Both of them are very high spiritual beings. They create a lot of community events, sound baths, meditation events. Tara has a place he calls Medicine Land.
He's also a Sikh,
yes.
I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. A Santa Cruz elder and beloved community organizer.
Was telling me that he thinks we're going towards a telepathic society.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah, where we go beyond small vocalizations as a way of communicating and into a more nonverbal languaging. I guess if you're a true telepath, you'd be sending images back and forth without actually having to see them.
Yeah.
Mythos is actually showing that there's no more secrets. And when we become telepathic, there'll be no more secrets.
Right, no more secrets. Now, what does that tell you about the structure of our society then? I mean, secrets is a big part of the national security apparatus, right? I mean, that's how we do things here.
Well, and I would say it's been a big part of the demise of our society during our lifetimes is that our government has prized the deceptiveness, deceiving the public more than being accountable to the public for the last 50 years.
So that would all have to change.
Yeah, well, in the halls of power, people have to become ashamed of themselves. They have to really recognize that once you start choosing deception as a way of holding on to your power base, you've lost the power that holds our democracy together.
This is the local band. This is just give you a few seconds of the band. It brought us together in some rather remarkable ways. A lot of people I hadn't seen for a long time. Visionary artist. Yeah, this is one of our visionary artist buddies. I hadn't seen him. He's also Matt Jones is
he
not
was
only
live painting during the music.
Yeah, he does live painting at festivals, and some of his stuff is very 3D. And so he was telling me that some folks had taken some of his art and put it into AIs and animated it for him, and kind of blew his mind. Well, I'll see if I can do just some of that for the show here.
Yeah, there you go. Stay tuned, Matt. You're going to love that.
Yeah, you're going to love what Al does to your videos. I mean, to your, but Al does to your still paintings, yes. Yeah, and Mary was one of our great. She's written another book. She did a whole fictional
yes.
book on the
Mary
strawberry
Floden.
trade, and Mary Floden. Now she did a new book, right? And what did she tell you? What is it?
I think it's called Incident at Cougar Creek, and it's a action dramatization novel about a new federally protected swath of land north of Davenport, and basically the saga of what has gone down since that land was protected, and different people have tried to exploit it under the BLM. And I haven't read the novel. I don't know the details, but she writes stories about true history.
Yeah,
She
local
fictionalizes
stuff.
the stories. so we
Fictionalizes
can-
real stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mary Floden.
Unlike Karina, who is more about solving big problems.
Well, she is a spiritual, mystical force of nature, and she's very involved in activation of higher consciousness. And she works mostly with women. She works with indigenous people of all cultures. She works with sacred ceremony and dance and song. She just is a beautiful light in our community.
yeah, Danny.
There you go.
Yep.
I had the chance to speak with Danny for a minute yesterday. I gave him a big hug, and I asked him, had he ever himself had a direct encounter with them? And he said no, that he has not. And I would say this is how I feel too. I have not myself been in the frequency range of interacting with aliens, at least not the way that a lot of other people describe their experiences. Except maybe you, Al. You might be the only alien who, actually appears to me.
No, this is my Nerdvana. Nerdvana is my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is what you're doing.
Yeah. Of course, gear, the aliens have simplified gear. They tend to, there's Bobby, see?
Yeah, I know. That's our little setup there.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say about that event, and I think it's bringing us more all together, which is nice because for years we weren't together. But the whole COVID thing and the whole Trump thing just kind of split the community into a million pieces, and starting to come back together again in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to come back together.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So let's do it. Pruitt, I think we got enough for this week's show.
All right. Well, that's been quite a ride. Thank you very much, my dears. Always a pleasure to get together with you and expand our consciousness and
Indeed.
learn about the universe as it is expanding.
Next week, we'll have Gemma 4 running on our phones, and we'll see where that takes us. We'll keep you posted on that little experiment.
Very evolutionary.
Yes, see if we can get ready for a, as Bobby calls it, a Black Swan event. Can hardly wait.
Okay, well, have a great future now, everybody.
All right, thanks for listening.
More to come.